That's Hollywood. Hollywood. Here we got Charleston White. I kind of want to get into a little clip of this for my other channel. This whole clip was 10 minutes, but I broke it down to maybe 45 seconds. But this might be the first video we do over there, a little reaction.
Biggest takeaway from this election?
Oh, the biggest takeaway from this election is that the Democratic Party think black folks are stupid because they went and got the worst entertainers to talk to us.
CaveFam, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another reaction. This is Segovia coming to you live from the Man Cave. Hope everyone out there is having a good weekend, y'all. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Best day of the week, in my opinion. I love my Sundays. I got my girl cooking some albondiga soup. If you know, you know. That's what I'm eating today during this game. We got some things to do, but I'm going to save the chit chat for the end of the video. Y'all know my slogan. Enough with the chit chat. Let's go and get into the reaction. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's crazy.
Pulp Fiction.
Great rabbit hole.
Okay, remember the suitcase?
Yes.
Okay.
That's one of the first rabbit holes.
The suitcase is when he opened up the suitcase and there's like a brightness.
Huh?
Which he stole from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh.
Because the Holy Grail had a brightness.
You go down a real rabbit hole.
we never get to see what's in the hole, what's in the thing, right?
Right.
What's in the briefcase.
Right.
But we know that the code for the briefcase is 666 because that's the code that John Travolta does. He presses when he opens up the
Yeah,
suitcase.
they show very distinctly
In the very first scene of the movie. So I wanted to find out what's inside the suitcase, what's in the briefcase, because they're really protective over the briefcase. Because I cannot give you the briefcase. Even Samuel Jackson can have all the money. You can have all the money of the restaurant at the end of the movie, but you're not gonna get this briefcase. I went through too much shit on account of this briefcase.
Right.
What the fuck in this briefcase?
Right.
So, and one of the most things that I found was the most interesting one was this. Yeah, ready for this? What's inside that briefcase is Bing Raines, the actor. He plays Marcella Wallace, modern day pimp, drug dealer, black mafia member guy in Los Angeles, and his soul is in there. His soul is in there.
This is the.
So what happened was that Marcelo Wallace made a deal with the devil, and he didn't like how it went down, right?
Right.
So Marcelo Wallace had the mark of the beast, and everybody wondered why does he have a band-aid in the back of his forehead, in the back of his neck, right? Because the mark of the beast is 666, and he was trying to cover it up. Now, now this is where very important to pay attention right here, where it comes together with the Blues Brothers. The Blues Brothers are dressed in black and white, okay, and they're dressed exactly the same as Samuel Jackson and John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. Right?
It's crazy.
So in the Blues Brothers, the Blues Brothers were orphans, and their orphanage was going to get closed down. So they said, we're going to go raise some money, whatever it takes, to save this orphanage. We're on a mission from God. So the characters, Jules and my man, John Travolta, are dressed like that, black and white, because they're also on a mission from God. They're on their way to go rescue Vin Raines, Marcella Wallace's soul, from these guys in the department, and but they don't really say it, right?
Right.
And so there's a scene where one guy jumps out of the room and just shoots them, right? And they don't get shot. The bullets go through them, and Marcelo Wallace said it's divine intervention. And he goes, nah, you can't fuck with this.
You mean Jules says it?
Jules said that. You know what?
Intervention.
Because when you're on a mission from God, God is with you.
Are you basically saying we should not eat fruit?
Look, we should be eating fruit in season. Average apple in a grocery store is over a year old.
Are you kidding me?
No, over a year old. Sickness is good for business in so many ways. You know, the sicker we are, the better the pharmaceutical companies do, the better big medicine does, and the better big agriculture does. There's no such thing as an anti-inflammatory food. You have to have foods that help your microbiome grow and foster, and then help seal your leaky gut.
Hi, Brian. How are you, buddy? Are you still going to leave America now that Trump's the president? Tom Hanks is leaving. Are you going to stay and see how it goes? Thank you, buddy.
Beyonce was paid $10 million to come speak.
I don't want to do that.
Listen, okay.
No, if it's a fact, why not put it out there? I don't know. First of all,
it's reports out there that Beyonce was given $10 million to come speak, okay? And what I'm saying is when we talking about community, like, what could $10 million have done for our community?
I need that.
Because Beyonce didn't need no $10 million.
I need it.
How many babies could I have saved with $10 million? How many mothers could I help get on their feet or be first-time home buyers?
So this doesn't look good. Protests are starting up all over the country. I'm about to show you a few of them. Real quick, I'll tell you what I think about it, though. So when everything first happened, there was nothing, right? I think that all these people were expecting the power structure of the world to contest what happened. And when that didn't happen, they're like, let's take it into our own hands. And again, that's my opinion. And this right here is in Seattle right now. Now, there really is a dangerous rhetoric coming from a lot of people calling for action against one certain person. But it's really a lot more than one person because they're coming after anyone who aligns with that side. Needless to say, things don't look that safe in America right now. There's been many violent outbursts against people of other political affiliation. And this protest right here is in New York, and I believe there may be more going on in New York as well. They're yelling names that has to do with a lot of what they were saying beforehand. Like people from Germany. If you get what I'm saying, I can't say it. Do I think it's going to continue like this and keep getting bigger? Yes, I do, because people are in this. Let me know what you think below.
Well, now that's going on. I haven't even been seeing that. But Seattle's crazy. I remember when in 2020 when they took over a little spot and they were saying we want open borders. What was the first thing they did? Created a border. First thing, you come in this, you're getting killed if you come in this border.
Now that the election distraction is over, they gotta distract you with this. U.S. House has announced a hearing on UFOs scheduled for November 13th, where lawmakers are expected to discuss recent reports, government transparency, oh yeah, like that's a real thing, and potential national security implications of unidentified aerial phenomena. So this is nothing new. They are going to continue to push this narrative, to push this distraction. That way in the future, when the great deception comes upon the world, everybody here accepts it because they have been talking about it over and over and over again for years and years. And ultimately, this great deception will be spiritual. They will tie in religions together. They will talk about how Jesus was not the way, the truth, the life, but he was just an ascended master. He was one of them.
Okay, this is crazy. Look. Right? And then bro.
A new class action lawsuit was just filed against Hershey's, and it's for you if you bought Hershey's bars, Hershey's Kisses, Reese's Pieces, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Almond Joy, or Kit Kats. The lawsuit seems based on this claim by Grizzly Research. We believe Hershey's, Reese's, and other Hershey brands have severe PFAS contamination that direct competition can avoid. Now, they're not alleging anything wrong with the chocolate per se. But the issue is with the wrapper. This research
Plastic.
company claims they commissioned independent testing in 4 labs across the US and Europe, and that they found high contamination in the wrappers of the chocolate I mentioned, whereas they found none in Mars and Nestle chocolates, namely Snickers, Twix, Nestle Crunch, which they then hypothesized means something is wrong with the production processes, like contamination or uncleanliness. So they are suing on behalf of the class, us who purchased, for injunctive relief, meaning to stop the company from selling PFAS packaged chocolates, and also asking for economic damages, meaning we wouldn't have spent so much money if we knew our chocolate was being packaged in toxic forever chemicals, which you know are linked to cancer problems, hormonal problems, fertility issues. You know, I'll keep you updated on any settlement.
So, am I getting a check? Save all the big words. Are they gonna send me a check in the mail?
Crazy.
No.
This is the road that our super nice restaurant is supposed to be on.
It's crazy, y'all. San Francisco, man. That's crazy. That was Miss Harris's state, home state. Looking like that.
The no dancing sign in Golden Gate Park is down. It became somewhat controversial. Did that surprise you? A little bit. I mean,
This guy's walking in the middle of the road. Look out, dude.
is very beloved by almost everybody, but the skating place decided to be the hating place a little bit, and some of the issues that are going on there sort of spilled out.
Yeah, I don't think I would eat there either.
Around them. But it's a gorgeous piece, and you know, I'm sorry that there's a lot
Oh,
of
shit.
deficiency that people thought.
Dogfight.
Or very few handful of folks vocally didn't get.
When did the moon start doing this? I filmed the moon 3 hours apart today, and you guys have to see it. Alright, this is at 4:53 p.m. It's 10:32 p.m. and I just took this. Did it change phases? Like, how is this possible? Like, I genuinely want to be wrong. I don't want to believe that it's a projection or whatever, but what is that? This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm completely crazy.
We're proving to see if a large fits into a small.
Look at this. Ridiculous.
Empty. No. Wait. No. You can joke, John.
I'm scared.
98% of it.
No.
I got it all.
Shut up. That's so bad.
Better go back in the store with that.
It's all lies. It's all lies.
This is an example of the subtle ways in which the media can manipulate us. President-elect Trump has announced Susie Wiles as his White House Chief of Staff. Now, if this had been a Democrat, this article would include the information that this is the first female to ever be appointed Chief of Staff. But because it's Trump, and he's a woman-hating misogynist who wants to take away everything women have in this country, they're not going to include such information because it's going to have a positive tilt to it. This in and of itself is very neutral. But if they had pointed out that she's the first female to ever hold this position, that would be too much positive press for the Hitler.
Do you remember the very popular TV show from the mid-2000s, Extreme Home Makeover? Which had an extremely backwards concept of visiting these very low-income families who were struggling at the time, completely pimping out their house to make it like 3 or 4 times worth what it was originally. And Vice recently released a short documentary detailing some of the families that stepped forward about how this show basically ruined their whole lives.
Just things you see on Celebrity's House, on MTV Cribs. Don't take anything. I would say the house like more than 4 times the size it was.
Now, the initial concept of this show altogether was pretty lighthearted originally, until after the lights and camera cut off and the whole house actually got left to the family that was struggling in the first place. All on their own, not being able to keep up with the dire payments that now are tripled, sometimes even more than that, compared to what they were originally that they could barely actually maintain.
It was an expensive house. Our first electric bill was like $2,200, which was way more than our mortgage ever was. And
Just the one movie theater they installed in one of these houses cost $900 for just this light alone per month. This wasn't like the mid-2000s, so it's a little bit different, but it's pretty crazy. Leading this mother right here of this family in one of the show's episodes to having to take out a $400,000 plus loan to just maintain the house. Well, the show's cast, producers, and overall channel made over $500 million just in the first 2 seasons. Pretty much completely leaving these innocent people in the dust. They initially sought after to help, running off with the money bags. I personally do remember watching this show growing up, and the whole concept never really made much sense to me, being that, this was just bound to happen. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about all of this over there in the comments.
That's Hollywood. Hollywood. Here we got Charleston White. I kind of want to get into a little clip of this for my other channel. This whole clip was 10 minutes, but I broke it down to maybe 45 seconds. But this might be the first video we do over there, a little reaction.
Biggest takeaway from this election?
The biggest takeaway from this election is that the Democratic Party think black folks are stupid because they went and got the worst entertainers to talk to us. They went and got the lowest vibration of our black women to come talk to us. They didn't get no upstanding sister to talk to us, from Cardi B, Kelly Rowland. Homie, they didn't go get nobody. They would have got all entertainers who shake their ass and pop. So it has showed me that our black entertainers are puppets, and not only they puppets, nigga, they lapdog, they bootlickers, and they hypocritical because the police shooters, wrongful convictions, women being abused. What about the sister that got killed in Mexico by her friends?
Yeah.
Homie, they never speak out on nothing until the politicians go get them during the presidential election.
But then when you have some of them that are making videos, all the Avengers get together like, hey, are you trying to get me to hate superhero movies? If I was running the Avengers, I'd be like, hey guys, cut the shit.
I think Kamala Harris needs a catchphrase.
Ooh, yes, definitely a catchphrase.
How about this? I'm just off the top of my head. I can do this all day.
Are you fucking crazy?
And then you can tell it's just so fake, and it's not from the heart and genuine. You know, so that's right there. I never liked Avengers movies. You guys seen me saying this last year that I'm just not a fan of these movies. I feel like they killed the good movies out there. 10 years from now, you're going to see the Avengers on TV and just skip right past it. It's just a sudden dopamine hit. First time you see it, you'll never watch it again. At least that's what I think.
Hey, this is a reminder video that Knorr Chicken Seasoning changed the ingredients to their recipe. This is the old container that they still happen to have at my Sam's Club because people keep skipping on it because they're damaged containers. But this stuff had chicken meat powder in it. The new container that has this crappy logo doesn't contain any of the meat powder. So, you know, like, try to skip on this and reach out to Knorr and let them know that they need to change it back.
There's something huge in this which kind of like demolished our relationship. I don't know.
You got it. Do it. No, I think you got it. You got it.
You can always cut it if you want.
Yeah, okay. So for my birthday, Zach got a house for like my family and I, and all my friends in New Hampshire, and he was on tour and he had like a 3 or 4 days off so he could come to my birthday, and he kept like making it this big deal. He's like, I can't believe I'm fucking leaving tour to come to your birthday. I'm like, you don't have to come. Like, honestly, I know it's gonna be bad if you come, so you don't have to come. Like, I'm so grateful for the house, whatever, you don't have to come to my birthday. And he's like, I'm not gonna fucking miss your birthday. Then I'm like, then stop saying this to me. Stop making me feel bad that you're coming to my birthday. I don't care if you're here at this point.
I almost feel like that little story sums him up to a T, but continue.
To a T, yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, he comes to my birthday, and he gets there and he's all kind of weird. He's acting funny. It's whatever. I'm like, whatever. He just got off tour. It's always an excuse, like something's going on. And the night starts and we all like sit around the fire, and it's pretty chill. It's actually really chill. It's all of like my family and my friends, and we're sitting around the fire, and he just starts doing what he does, like throwing jabs. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like from across the fire, like throwing jabs at my friends and like calling people idiots. And like, I'm like, okay, it's 11:30. I'm gonna go to bed before, like, I was so excited. It was gonna be my birthday at midnight. We're gonna like do the champagne or whatever. I'm like, I gotta go to bed before my birthday. Hopefully he will follow me to bed. So I'm like, good night, guys. I love you. Everyone's like, Bree, what the fuck? Why are you going to bed? Like, it's your birthday in 10 minutes. I'm like, I gotta go to bed. I'm like, Zach, let's go to bed. He doesn't follow me. I go upstairs. I go to sleep, and I wake up like probably an hour and a half later to like screaming, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I go downstairs into the basement of this house, and it's like all my girlfriends crying, and they're all like in it. So I'm like, what the fuck happened? What's going on? And then I look outside, and I have my aunt like trying to control Zach, and there's a recording of all of this that can never be out. Basically, Zach we're all hanging around the fire, and I guess he stood up at the fire, and just starts screaming at my friends, "You're not going to be anything. You're a fucking loser." Like, just the most horrible shit. Like, you're never going to make it. Like, you live off of other people. Like, just crazy out of nowhere. And I'm like, what the fuck? But when Zach's in this zone, there's no containing it. So my aunt's trying to figure it out, whatever. I bring him up to bed. He smashes glass. Wake up in the morning. I'm like, you have to leave, Zach. Like, you have to apologize. Like, this is crazy. And like, they didn't squash it, obviously, but it was like, we'll be civil today so that Bree can have one day. And ever since then, it was just awful. And Zach, every night, like, I'd be trying to go to sleep on the bus and he would just come in and just start recording me and be like, is it okay if I'm recording you, since your friends fucking record me and everyone fucking around you records me all the time? And he would just record. I have the craziest videos. Maybe that's why the $12 million is involved, because I have a lot of shit that I'm never going to put out there because it's embarrassing for me and I don't want my future kids to see it. But that's probably where the $12 million comes.
I can no longer pretend like this man did not say this on the Joe Rogan show. Donald Trump was asked about UFOs and he said there's no reason not to think that Mars and all these planets don't have life. Joe Rogan quickly corrected him that there's rovers on Mars. We would know if there was life. And Donald Trump said maybe it's a life that we don't know. What the fuck does that mean? And then look at this. There was a leaked email from Nick Pope, the former head of the Ministry of Defense and a UFO expert, where he said an imminent UFO signal could bring terrible truths that the public is not ready for. I don't know what that means. Now, Nick Pope, the same guy that had his email leaked, predicts that Trump is going to make a huge UFO announcement in 2025. So is this going to be the year of disclosure? But also look at this. The House announced that in a few short days, they are going to have more UAP hearings that follow up what happened last summer with David Grush. This time they're going to include Tim Gallaudet, who is a retired Rear Admiral for the Navy, and he specializes in unidentified submersible objects, so USOs. So you're telling me that for the past 2 days, I've been talking about life on Mars and how the CIA remote viewed it in 1984. And Donald Trump goes on the Joe Rogan show in 2024 and says, there's no reason to believe that there's not life on Mars. Maybe we just don't know about it. Holy shit.
Mexico. I mean, how crazy is it going to be? I mean, we kind of know, but I mean, once he comes out and says it, now we're going to get HD 4K video of it, right? I mean, we're going to have to now. Now you got to show us some real stuff. You told us the real stuff that we already knew, but now we need to see it. We need to see those aliens are 4K. Are they going to look like us? Is it going to look like me wearing a cardinal hat and a beard? I don't know.
Officials say a migrant caravan of thousands that was headed to the border is starting to break up and turn back. In fact, Newsweek reports many of the roughly 3,000 migrants abandoned the caravan and turned back fearing deportation after getting word Trump had won.
No, that's true. Remember, I tell you guys, my girlfriend works for immigration court. She helps the judge get everything together, the interpreters, everything. She gets everything together so that when the judge gets in there, he can get to work. And she was saying a lot of people are starting not to show up now since Trump won. They're not showing up for the hearings. I know where I live now, where I moved, right across the street, there's like a big old tent city full of, that's where they're keeping the migrants that are coming in this border. So that's true, y'all. They're starting to break up and they're not showing up to hearings, and they know.
I don't know if you saw this, but P Diddy's on the collage here on the wall. It's just showing TMZ the P Diddy thing. Let's see, where's Diddy? Oh, there's Diddy. I wonder when they're going to take down Diddy. He's right next to Aretha Franklin, Macaulay Culkin, Julia Roberts, Russell Simmons. You guys might want to remove Russell Simmons already, but he's basically the Roman Polanski of the hip hop world. Aretha Franklin standing right next to Diddy, and then you have Barry White. Marvin Gaye is right above Diddy. It's kind of interesting to see how they have everybody kind of collaged here. I'm taking a picture. I'm trying to see if they're going to remove Diddy, because Diddy's up there. No one wants to talk about Diddy, I guess. She's like, get on out of here. See, she's upset. She's like, don't talk to him. He's talking about Diddy. You don't want to get involved in that.
Isn't that so crazy?
People act so weird, even just regular passerbys.
He got him. Look at this one, y'all. Kind of. Oh, you see when he zooms in. That's crazy. That's crazy. Or as they say, creepy.
Can't stop it. No.
Look at this guy.
It's gonna hurt if it gets working though. That thing's metal. 45 hours?
45 hours.
Jen just moved her car. Like, what the fuck is happening? I need a broom before I use a shovel.
I wouldn't be standing right there. That thing can shoot right at you.
That's...
Poor guy just wants to go home. That's his ride home.
I gotta see this.
He's gonna go grab it?
Don't get caught in it.
That thing's a shin killer.
You're gonna knock it up and it's gonna...
It needs to be on TikTok.
Yeah, really.
What you don't do.
Oh shit.
Okay, so that also makes
Yo, he got it.
Got it.
Do you remember the pink battery bunny in your timeline? Yeah, it was pink, it had a battery in it, and it ran forever. Yes. Who was it? Was it Energizer or was it Duracell? Actually, in this timeline, it is both. Yes, both. Yes, Duracell has a pink bunny with a battery in it, and so does Energizer. I don't know about you, but in my timeline, the commercials were the Energizer battery bunny. It was pink, and it had a drum. But Duracell has it, and get this, Duracell's was actually first. Duracell had one in 1973, and the Energizer bunny didn't come on the scene until 1988. But I don't remember the Duracell battery bunny at all. Where did it come from? And it actually looks kind of generic, but it was first, and they do exist. Look it up. I don't know about you, but I know that there were not two pink battery bunnies running around when I needed Christmas batteries for my remote control cars and stuff like that. I just don't remember, but apparently in this timeline, there are two of them. Do you remember the Energizer one? Do you remember the Duracell? And did you ever see any commercials? Let me know.
We also found something to this day. There's not one scientist that can figure it out.
Really?
We think it's a wormhole.
What? Yes. So you saw something go in it?
No, come out of it.
Oh, come out of it.
And not just one, multiple things.
Whoa.
It's some sort of cloud, we don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
That opens and closes and multiple objects coming out of it.
Crazy.
Yes. And also what we did to make it very scientific is we triangulated. So we had cameras on the coast of California and across in Catalina Island and a third location.
Wow.
So from 3 locations, we were capturing data.
That's crazy.
I know. And then we had radar validate the cameras exactly in that location, showing these objects come out of that hole. We don't know what it is, so we're calling it a wormhole.
Wait, so this wasn't in space? I thought this was in space. This is just in the middle of the Pacific Ocean? There's like a cloud opening up and things are coming. You know, how amazing are these times we're in? Think about it. The first time in our human history, our civilization, I should say, that we're experiencing something like this. Clouds appearing in the middle of the ocean and things coming out of it. Think about it. That right there is just freaking mind-blowing. Crazy times we're living in, y'all. We're about to get disclosed some crazy, should be life-changing things, but it's not gonna, nobody's gonna care. But the ones that care are gonna care, if that makes sense.
I got it.
I didn't see this. Any of y'all see this? I was probably in bed at that time. I was in bed at 9 o'clock last night on a Saturday night.
What is
falling
that?
asleep on the couch watching Narcos.
Yo!
Wow, what the heck? What is it?
You talking about that? What is that? Right here, dude.
Crazy.
That I don't know.
That's a good one.
What was that?
The sky is so crazy. It's crazy.
The former CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, Mike Jeffries, was just released on a $10 million bond after being arrested on charges of sex. This man was grinning and smiling and has now arrived at his home in Palm Beach, where he's been ordered to wear a GPS monitor. The same man that allegedly organized sex events in England, France, Italy, Morocco, St. Bart's, and even New York. If this doesn't prove that money talks, I really don't know what does. But did you see who hired Mike Jeffries? He was hired in 1992 by Les Wexner, right? The CEO of L Brands, or the former CEO of Victoria's Secret. And I'm going to keep pushing this out, and I want everybody to continue to share it because I want everybody to see how deep this really goes. I mean, for decades, right? Les Wexner was Epstein's only publicly named client as a financial advisor. And the billionaire appears to be a key source of the $500 million fortune that Epstein left behind when he died in 2019. Well, you know how I mentioned France being one of those locations of where they allegedly organized these sex events in? A lot of people apparently don't know about this, but disgraced modeling agent and Jeffrey Epstein associate Jean-Luc Brunel died in a prison cell in 2022, right? But in December of 2020, Brunel was charged with rape of minors over the age of 15 and sexual harassment, a crime in France. So how many people in the fashion industry were really involved with all this? Because like I said, this all goes pretty fucking deep. As you can see, earlier this year, Diddy hired Bobby Sternheim to represent him in court for a sexual assault case. And Bobby Sternheim previously made headlines for defending Ghislaine Maxwell in her sex trafficking case. And it's really interesting because a lot of people that just so happen to be Abercrombie & Fitch models while all of this was happening, right? Kind of like Ashton Kutcher himself, just so happen to have really good relationships with none other than P Diddy. It seems to be in 2024 that everything is finally coming out into the light. And I'm curious who else is going to take the fall.
Good point.
Cutting their hair off. They're going on a sex strike. They're telling you to break up with any man that's in your life. Harvard professors are canceling classes because students feel blue. The Guardian is offering therapy to staffers after Trump's upsetting win. Barnard College is saying you don't have to come to class. One professor said your quizzes aren't going to count today because if you need to stay home and have a sad day, you can.
Here's a little bit more of the meltdown.
Stop talking to men. Divorce your husbands. Leave your boyfriends. Leave them. They don't give a about you. And I promise you, come over to this side. I will bake cookies. I will shave your head.
I know you're looking for what do we do? How do we fight? I don't know. I don't know what to do. But I'm tired and I'm done. This country is done. It's gone, it's lost, and it's lost forever.
And we find ourselves, I believe, in a time where there are, let's say, peers in history of mass movements of people that mobilize to protect one another in times of fascism and authoritarianism.
So let me get this straight.
Here's what's happened in just the 2 days since Trump has been elected president. Putin said that he's ready to restore relations with the United States, saying that Trump's assassination attempt has left an impression on him. He said, he behaved, in my opinion, in a very correct way, courageously, like a man. And when asked if he's ready to have discussions with Trump, he said, we are ready. Trump has appointed Susie Wiles as his chief of staff, making her the first woman ever to have that position in United States history. Across the country, organizations and crisis hotlines catering to LGBTQ+ youths and adults have reported a huge spike in calls. Trump said that he would initiate his long-stated mass deportation plan regardless of the price tag. He said that he's already spoken with over 70 world leaders, including Zelensky and Netanyahu. Elon Musk's trans daughter has vowed to leave the United States following Trump's win, saying, even if he's only in office for 4 years, even if the anti-trans regulations magically don't happen, the people who willingly voted this in are not going anywhere anytime soon. California's governor said that he will convene a special session of legislature to protect state laws from Donald Trump. Bitcoin and the stock market surged to record highs as Trump returned to presidency. The Taliban government in Afghan said that they hope for a new chapter and to strengthen their relations with the United States. And Google searches for move to Canada, New Zealand, and Australia rose by a combined 3,820% as it became clear that Trump was going to win.
Canada. Is y'all inflation in Canada 10 times worse than over here? I know I've done some reactions to some clips of that. Partners to the North. How is it over there for you guys? Is it as bad as they say?
Bro, the Mandela effect continues to blow my mind. And why is it called the Mandela effect? Well, there was a paranormal researcher named Fiona who conceptualized the idea after she discovered that her, along with many other people, had a false memory that Mandela died while in prison. But some of these, I just... Remember this scene in Star Wars? Luke, I am your father. Yeah, that never happened. He never said that. Except he did. He did. Mirror, mirror on the wall? No, she never said that. It's magic mirror on the wall. Oh, look, it's Mr. Monopoly Man. Except it isn't. He never had a monocle, except for the fact that he did. I know he did. Did you guys ever watch Pikachu growing up? Is this what you remember the tail looking like? Because that's what it is for me. Yellow? Except apparently this is what it's always been. No black mark on the tail. You remember the movie Shazam where Sinbad played a genie? It doesn't exist. There's Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal. I get it. I get it. It's just like, oh, maybe we're confusing the title of the name of the actor. Why do all of us think of Sinbad and Shazam? Explain that to me. That's a little bit random, okay? We Are the Champions by Queen. Do you remember how that song ends? It's we are the champions of the world. Except he never says that. Except he did. This is why many people think the Mandela effect is actually evidence that we live in a matrix or a simulation. I don't care who you are. I do not care who you are. You will never convince me that that wasn't the original logo. Because it's ingrained in here.
UFO out in that field.
They've been keeping this from you. In the 1900s, they collected all of the bills all around the world. The government said it was due to a shortage for the war, so they used them to make bullets. But some people feel there's a darker element behind it. So back in 1953, they started switching from 432 to 440 hertz, okay, which is automatically considered, if you look at it, disharmonious. There's a disharmony in your body when you listen to certain music. Now, this is how you know there's some truth in frequency. Why do people get bells to this day? Why do people hum? Why do people listen to binaural beats? Right? You know that it has an actual effect over you. So some people have theorized that they switch this energy to keep you from harmonizing with the universe. But this is where it gets tricky. The CIA, the gateway process, they've already deduced that energy is stagnant or in motion in this universe, but it's definitely vibrating. They've deduced that the brain has an electrostatic reducing ability. So your brain, the frequency that your brain emits, tethers to this universe. They intertwine. Your consciousness now makes sense of reality as it seems. So if you can put people in disharmony with the universe, with this energy, with this frequency, you won't be able to connect to higher realms, to higher deities. This is why people are so lost in their lower self. Now let's bombard them with OnlyFans, nudity in every video, every fitness video. There's a butt. Movie. I mean, really think about this, bro.
TV show.
You can't escape the fast food, the pop, the liquor, the smoke, the violence. Think about it. This earth is operating on the wrong frequency. Literally. As a matter of fact, if you look into the, I don't even want to get into the 666 of the Earth's axis and all of this other stuff, but bro, Earth has been changed. Theoretically. The real question is what are you listening to? How do you feel? How do you feel when you listen to certain music? How do you feel when do you feel high vibrational when you eat good food? Do you feel low vibrational when you eat McDonald's burgers? Like, ask yourself, how does life make you feel? What type of energy is being projected globally, bro? Take a look around. It's really easy to see. I'm gone.
Do you know how much Disney has lost in a year and a half of their stock?
I've read a good amount about just like the boycotting just of like the certain movies that they're putting out like that, but I've seen it go down.
So $195 billion. They've lost 56% of their stock.
Damn.
It's so bad right now that guess who's celebrating behind closed doors? Apple, because Apple's the only one that can buy them. And now Bob Iger is kind of trying to split up the company so people can buy pieces at a time. Bob Iger chose the wrong enemies. What did Bob do? Bob chose parents as enemies, and he chose the transgender community as his allies. What? Your number one customer isn't kids. Your number one customer is the person that controls, has the power of the remote. You got to win the parents over. So what happens? Flop after flop after flop after flop after flop that Disney has. But what this guy is doing, they're trying to tarnish, destroy his reputation at the highest level, and he's standing up saying, go F yourself.
All right, check it out, guys. So I'm gonna show you guys a spot that's really haunted. A lot of you truck drivers know this spot right here. Look, there's already a light in there. There's not supposed to be nobody in there, okay? We're in the middle of the desert. A lot of truck drivers sleep here. A lot of you guys know this spot. Not to mention there's gonna be a crazy ass storm today. Kind of worried about that. I'm trying to get home already. But look, this spot is extremely haunted. A lot of us have seen some crazy ass stuff right there, okay? And I'm trying not to cuss so TikTok won't mess it up. Okay, but this spot is extremely haunted, okay? And a lot of truck drivers sleep right here.
Why?
Yeah, let's get our money.
If I'm 10 miles up the road and sleep there, I ain't sleeping right there if it's haunted.
Yeah, some filthy ass truckers make all of us look bad.
All right, family. There you have today's reaction. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I feel like it was a good one. I feel like we're getting back where we need to get back. We're just taking a little time. I don't know what happened, but hey, I'm gonna be here regardless. But we got some things to do today, y'all. I gotta go out there, air up my tires, because you know when it gets cold, air gets thinner, tires, pressure lights on. Gotta do that. I gotta go run the mountain. Gotta get my run in. I gotta blow my front yard and backyard out, pick up some poop, water the plants. I do got to clean the cars, but I'll probably do that tomorrow because my lady's off tomorrow, so probably do that. She's got some albondiga soup on the stove as we speak, slow brewing in there. That's gonna be delicious. I might post a picture. We got Cardinals and Jets going down. Big game. You know how I'm watching that. We got a new TV yesterday, a 70-inch TV. I've never had a TV that big in my life, and it's amazing, y'all. I got to hang it up. I already have the bracket up. When I moved into the house, the bracket was up. I just got to put the bracket on back of the TV and then mount it to the bracket. So I got to do that today. I got some things to do, y'all. It is 11:30 as we speak. Game starts at 2. So I got to go do all that, y'all. So I hope everyone out there has a good Sunday. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you made it this far. We do daily uploads over here. We're going to start doing uploads on the next channel, so be prepared. We're going to be getting into some longer form videos, maybe some TikToks. I've been seeing some TikTok compilations on YouTube of people from the left losing their minds, so I would like to get into that and have some laughs with that, y'all, and see how serious people take these politics and all that. So this is Segovia. I'm signing out of the man cave. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow on Monday for another reaction. Hope everyone out there has a good day, y'all. Later.